first learn something, a new technique, or we're trying to change our swing, right? At first, we think about it a lot, and it's kind of jerky, and it doesn't happen very smoothly. And then all of a sudden, some things start to come together, and 2 or 3 little parts at the bottom start to happen a little smoothly. You got a little jerky part up here, and a little bit more. So you start to chunk some things together. So you're integrating. So step 1 in the learning process is called the cognitive phase of learning. And that's all happening in the front part of your brain. You're thinking, you're thinking, you're thinking. Step 2 is called the integration phase of learning. So you're starting to integrate smaller concepts into larger concepts, larger what we call motor programs. Step 3 is when it happens automatically. So think about that for just a moment. How many people have ever played golf or done any sport or activity, or actually almost anything, where you've just been in the zone? Raise your hand. Everybody here. So everybody has been in the zone, right? So think about it when you were in the zone. What's a word that you would use to describe? Just give me one word. When you were in the zone, it was like?
On fire.
On fire. Give me a word.
Smooth.
Smooth.
Easy.
Easy.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Very relaxed.
Very relaxed.
Smooth.
Smooth. Simple. Okay, now how many of those words that we just were things like, I thought about it a lot, it was very intellectual, right? Can you see that we were not using our cognitive brain when we were in the zone? It was smooth, it was easy, it was simple, it was, right? That's when we perform our best. That's when we're allowing our third brain, our oldest part of our brain, our automatic brain to take over. That's the ideal state of performance. That's what we want to move to. So when you come out, and you've heard me say this before, you need to learn, and then you need to learn to forget. Right? So you need to learn what you're doing, you need to learn what you need to do, and then you need to learn to forget it. And that has some very, very solid implications for how we practice. And that's why I keep encouraging people to practice and work in the front part of your lesson on your technique, and then forget it and work on scoring and work on accuracy, etc. You need to learn to forget that stuff. You need to actually learn to practice playing in your automatic mind of imagination. So think about that. So those are the 3 stages of learning. Right? First is cognitive, very jerky. Second is integrative, where you start to get smoother and smoother. And third is automatic. So most of the time we can move fairly quickly from cognitive into, I don't know if this is going to work. Most of the time we can move fairly quickly from cognitive into integrative, right? And then we might stay in that integrative stage for a long time. It depends on how big the move is that we're trying to change, right? But anything that we can do, and I spend a lot of my time trying to invest in ways to figure out how to get you guys to make natural movements. Not to spend a whole lot of time on, 18 degrees versus 19 degrees of rotation and hip flexion, but to get you to the sense where you can learn it and then learn to forget it, so that it can become more natural. And that's what we try to do when we go out on the golf course. We don't try to work on mechanics. It's hard sometimes because we get into it, but that's not the place for it. The place for that is out on the range. When we get out there, what you want to do is you want to activate the mind of the imagination. Those of you who've been out on the course with me, you know that our drill, when we get to a par 3, for instance, what do you have to do, Ron? See it, believe it, and go, right? But it's not just see it. Now we're on a par 3, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to make it. So everybody in our group, when we go out for a playing lesson, right, you have to describe to the rest of the group how you're going to make this hole in one. Where it's going to land, how many bounces it's going to take, all the rest of it. See, what I'm doing is I'm trying to activate your mind of imagination to get on that par 3, so that you're not thinking about, well, I'm supposed to take it outside, I got to get a good weight shift going on this. I sure wish I could see the ball this time, right? So I really want you focused on what it is that you want to accomplish and trying to let it naturally let it naturally happen. So I'm hoping that when you guys start coming to practice and taking lessons, that you're going to start spending a little bit more time and attention now thinking about how you're going to get yourself into that automatic brain. Does that make sense?